Good morning. Welcome to Brunch with Brian. We are here in snowy Idaho again. And so it's beautiful outside, but it's slippery. And today is the day, today is Epiphany, the Feast of the Epiphany. And we actually, Lynette and I got married in Epiphany Church. So that was a very special day about 36 and a half years ago. So that was amazing. So epiphany means to appear. It's a Latin phrase meaning to appear. And so people have epiphanies. Sometimes you hear people say, I had an epiphany. So something appeared in their life and struck them and potentially changed their future. That's what I love about epiphanies. You have an epiphany and you start to see your whole life in a different way. I've had several epiphanies in my life. One of them was when I met Lynette. Seeing Lynette, that was an epiphany when I met Lynette because it changed my whole life, and I could see things in a different way. That this was the person that I was going to be spending the rest of my life with, and I had an epiphany when we found Ron. When we found Ron, and I really understood real estate investing, and when we found investing full time, and we really went full time. That was an epiphany of how you could do this to make a living and change your life. So real estate investing, hopefully you guys go through an epiphany and it helps you and changes your life and gives you blessings and gifts that you never knew were possible. So Paul had his epiphany on the road to Damascus, Paul, and was struck blind. So hopefully it's not so dramatic like that, but it's amazing how many epiphanies you could have. Actually, write that down. Write down the word epiphany, 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 and think of the different epiphanies that you could have in your life. What could strike you suddenly and make you think a whole different way about your future and your life and actually change your behavior? When you go through an epiphany, like when I met Lynette, I changed my whole behavior. I started spending all my time with Lynette, all my spare time, every spare minute. Okay, so if you have an epiphany with your real estate, you might say, okay, this is going to lead to the changing of my life that I desire, the changes I hope for and desire in my life in 2022. And I'm going to commit to that. And so it changes your future habits. You should write that down. An epiphany changes your future behavior and habits. So in real estate investing, you need to spend 5 to 10 hours a week in new habits, doing things that you didn't do before. So sometimes people are struck with an epiphany that real estate could actually lead me to the realization of my life purpose and all my goals. But I have to make changes in my life, and these have to be my new habits. This has to be the way I spend my time going forward. Now that I understand, because of this epiphany, that this is going to be my future. So I love Epiphany. It's also National Bean Day. Beans are good for you. They help you be strong. Actually, some of the longest living peoples in the world have a base diet of some kind of a rice and beans, just that kind of meal, that paste that your body likes it. So baked beans and that kind of thing, or pinto beans, that kind of thing, rice. That's really healthy for you. So gives you protein and not a lot of bad stuff. So have an epiphany, guys, in any way. You could have a health epiphany, or especially around the beginning of a year, you can have an epiphany about how you're going to lead your life going forward. So hopefully you guys had an epiphany around the new year and you've decided to do some things differently and you came up with some New Year's resolutions and you have an exciting 2022 plan. So stay in touch with us, guys. If you ever want to contact us, you know our email. You can send us an email and I'll personally read it. Just make sure it's earmarked for Brian and I'll make sure to get that. So if you ever want to talk to me about anything I talk about on Brunch with Brian, or send me a note or tell me I had an epiphany. I love stories. I love hearing from you guys. So if you have an epiphany that you want to tell me about, especially real estate related, I'd love to hear it. So guys, we love you. We love all of you out there striving to be better, and that's why we're here. We're to help you guys with your positive mindset and special real estate investing tips. So have an epiphany right now and change your life forever. And until I see you guys next, so I'm going to have an epiphany. Let's do that. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to have an epiphany. One more time. I'm going to have an epiphany. Okay, that's right. I love the fact that we were married in Epiphany Church. And so an epiphany will change your life. Guys, keep expecting success until I talk to you later. And we're going to be back for Thursdays Live with the Wolves a little bit later today.
And our email, Darlene, is wolfcouple, WOLFF couple, @gmail.com.
Yep, that's a great email for us.
Send your epiphany over.
Yeah, and make sure you put Brian in caps in the subject line if you want me to read it for sure, okay? So, love you guys, and we'll see you a little bit later today for Thursdays Live. Keep expecting success, getting awesome training, and taking action.